Well, hello and hi there guys, this is on Wolfenstein Codes. In today's tutorial, we're going over how to create a tile map generation system inside of Godot so that we can use it for our Godot RPG series in which we are making a Pokemon style game. So it will be a pretty neat tutorial for all of us. And well, let me just show you what all this can do. So I'm just gonna delete everything that I already have, and I'm gonna go back to the node to which already a script has been attached, uh, and it's actually a tool script. So let me open it up and show it to you guys. As you can see that it's a tool script. It runs in the editor, that is, and it runs every editor frame in reality. So it's already been added to a tree and it runs during the editor frame and all that stuff. So now if I hit this turn the generate true, it will just be turned false and all these sprites will instantly be generated. And now all these sprites also have a script which I can use to create, well, pretty interesting things, such as I can select everything and deselect the ones that I don't want any kind of collisions on, and then using the multi-node edit I can just say generate collision, and collisions will be generated for all of them. It is much easier this way to create your own tile sets, modify them, and do a whole lot of stuff with them. And well, at the moment I have actually limited the size of everything to 256. I can actually double it out, say 512, and then I can just delete all these nodes and then hit generate once again, and it will take a little while, but this time, as you can see, a whole lot more tiles have been generated out of this tile set that I have over here. And well, I can just change the tile size to be 32 by 32 and do a lot of stuff. You can just keep on adding a lot more features with it, and unless you're satisfied with the script that you have, and for every project you can create your own script, and I will likely share all the code for this project and all these scripts in a little while. By the time I figured out how to actually share it, because all these sprites and all of this is actually copyrighted. They're the material of Nintendo, although they might be fan created and stuff like that, but I would recommend you, if you are doing a serious project that you want to put out in the world to sell, then you should not use tiles from another game, because then you cannot actually sell that game. I'm actually making these tutorials just to show off my fan game project and also to help you guys with some of the workflow concepts in Godot. So this is the way I like to generate tiles, and I'm currently working on some add-ons to do some stuff and all that. But until everything is complete, it will be a long time until everything is complete. I will also be trying to figure out how to add better tile set support to the Godot system if I can. But until then, let's just get started with all of this. And before I forget, if you wanna stay tuned to this channel and if you like the content here, just subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so that you can stay up to date with all the content that I put out. So let me just delete all this and let's start digging into the script. So let's just recreate everything. It's not very hard to do. Let me just add a node. Let's call it Tileset. Let's quickly go ahead and add a script. Let's call it a built-in script, because everything over here that we'll be creating is going to be a dummy version, so nothing serious. And make sure that it's empty, because I prefer to use empty. Well, why the hell not? And now we need a whole lot of things. The first thing that we are going to do is add an export and say generate, and you can just say, sorry, you can just say false, and then function process and say if generate true, then generate equal to false. And I'm just going to save the scene as Tileset over here, and let's try it out. Okay, so we have this generate button over here, and now if you turn it true and false, nothing's gonna change. Why? Because the export keyword only exports the variables, and the process function processes everything every frame, but this all only happens when the game is actually running. So to do everything in the editor, we need to add the tool keyword, and with that done, let's just save it. And oh yeah, it's not gonna work because I have to reload the scene. It's a minor bug I've noticed with the tool keyword, but it probably is a good thing, I believe, because this way actually we know that something's not gonna break out of hand. But whatever, uh, I might, I don't know if it's a bug or not. If it is, and there might already be an issue, and if there's not, then I will create one once I figure it out, or I will just fix it. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. And the next part and the important stuff is export. Sorry, it's gonna be a texture. Let's call it variable, and let's call it texture, because this texture keyword is not available in Node, so it's not gonna conflict with anything. And now over here we can just go ahead and say if texture not equal to null, and get child count is less than 1, then just simply we can say do something later, but for now let's just say pass. And now this get child count just helps us to know if there are already sprites generated or not, or if we have already generated it, then there's no need to generate it once again. Let me just quickly go ahead and add sorry, I think I will have to reload it. Yeah, now let me just load it up. Get to sprites, Tilesets. Sorry about my voice, I've been a little sick this week. So I've added the texture, and now for the next thing is I'm just gonna add an export where tile size equal to vector 2. I'm gonna just say 16 comma 16, because well I prefer to use 16 comma 16 tiles, and in this whole project the tiles are going to be 16 by 16 by default, so having 16 by 16 is gonna be well pretty handy, and you can always change it over here, so it's a good thing. So let's just now add export var to map equal to vector 2. Let's just say 0 comma 0, and this was going to be the full size. This is actually going to be the full size of the map. And once again, let's just reload the whole scene, and it's actually, oh, I forgot to save it. Export var to map equal to vector 2 0 comma 0, and we should be done. Sorry, let me just close it, reload, and you can see we have 2 map. And now let's just use, oh okay, let me just change this name to tiles to map. If tiles to map not equal to vector 2, so this is a way of saying if it is not 0, then we can do something, or we can just say if it is completely 0, then we will just say tiles, sorry, okay, let's just first create a variable var xw and var yw. So this is going to be x width and y width, Why I'm calling these like this is because they just simplify things. You can just say width and width. That might make it easier for you to understand. And I'll just say x width is equal to texture dot get size dot x divided by tile size dot x y width equal to texture dot get size dot y divided by tile size dot y. And with this we now know the width that we need, and else we can just say x width is equal to tiles to map dot x and y width is equal to tiles to map dot y. Now there's a big problem over here, that if the tiles to map and tiles to map y exceed the limit, then we need to do some checks and all that stuff. But for this tutorial purposes, I'm just gonna leave that part out. You can just figure it out on your own. It's pretty simple actually. Now let's get on to the hard part, that is creating a for loop. So for x in range 0 0 comma x width y width, and with both of these done, we can now just simply go ahead and say we can just first create a variable pos equal to vector2 x comma y into, oh sorry, not 16 but actually tile size. So this should do it. And using this between two vectors is like x into tile size dot x and y into tile size dot y, and then doing a vector2 over them. So if you didn't used to do it like this, then you were probably wasting a lot of time typing it out multiple times. And well, next, okay, so with all this done, we now only need to create node. So let's just say node, not call it node, we'll just say nd, and we'll just say sprite.new, and we have like this created a new node. Now what we need to do is just say add child nd, and with that we have also added the child. But now an important part is left, which is nd.set owner, which is a pretty important thing if you are actually adding something to the map. So we should also set up an owner. I'm just gonna call it own and equal to get free dot get edited scene root, and we can just say owner own. And with that we have added all the sprites, and if we go ahead and do something, we'll be adding actual sprites to the scene. So but there's a big problem over here. We actually need to set up the things about the sprites. So I'm first going to set the position, which is going to be equal to pos plus vector2 x comma y, and with that position is done. Next up we have nd dot texture equal to, well, you can just say texture nd dot region enable equal to true nd dot, let's make it a little bigger so that you can type in easier, region rect equal to rect2. Now we can just simply pass in pause and tile size, and with that I believe everything is done. So let's go ahead and use the script. So let me just first set up a tile size so that it doesn't take an infinite time to run, and we weren't able to generate anything. Why did that happen now? We don't have tiles to map actually over here. We will have to reload it, and now we have tiles to map. Now we can just say 16 and 16. I think that should work fine. And let's say generate, and we have it. So it's a big problem. I think this should now go inside of bug report, but okay. With that done, we have generated everything. So we don't have any kind of scripts on our sprites, so we cannot generate anything on them or use any kind of functions on them like I did in the what I had over there. And as you will also see, that there are these invisible sprites, and they're pretty dumb to have. So what to do about them? Well, an easy fix over here is just say texture dot get data dot lock, and this means that we have logged the data and we cannot change it. And over here we can just say if texture get data get pixel. Now, oh sorry, we should do it after pause. This will make our job much easier. And okay, so what I've done here is I've said get pixel alpha value and then compare it with 0.2, and if it's less than 0.2, then just continue and don't worry about the style anymore. So now I can just go ahead, delete all these sprites, and use the same generate, and this time there won't be any. Okay, there still are invisible tiles. What the hell is this? Color and float, and oh, that A should not have been removed, and it's for some reason still not working. Reload. Okay, it's working. And there should not be any invisible tiles. So we have finally removed the invisible tiles, and moving on, what we need to do now is add a script, probably that set script gen. Okay, let's just say gen script, and this will actually have to be an actual script. So we can just say export script where gen script, and with that we can just simply go ahead, create a new script. This time it's not going to be a built-in one, and let's just call it gen script as well, and with that we are done. So what we need to do now is just say export var generate collision, and I will only be creating a basic one for you guys. So okay, so this extends is actually a problem, although it wouldn't have been if you considered as sorry, not script, sprites, right? Sprite Now that's correct. Something is wrong with my typing today probably. So if generate, sorry, not generate, generate. If generate collision is true, then generate collision equal to false, and then we can just, sorry, we can say if get child count less than 1, then we can just simply generate actual collisions. And to do that, it's, well, quite simple actually. First, let's just get an owner, get tree dot get owner, oh sorry, not get tree dot get owner, get edited scene root, and that should give us what we need. And var own, and this own is the keyword that we are using for storing our owner. And then next up we just need st equal to static 2d dot new. Now we can say add child st, and then we can say st dot set owner own. Next up we have a collision body, so I'm just gonna call collision shape, sorry, the collision shape 2d dot new. Then we can simply say st dot add child cs, and then cs dot set owner own. And finally we can just say cs dot, we can do this before doing this, var sh equal to rectangular shape 2d new, and sh dot extent equal to, okay, let's just say is equal to tile size, which you can just input over here. Just say export var tile size equal to vector 2. I'm just gonna say 16,16 as default. And with that done, we can now simply say cs dot, sorry, dot shape equal to sh, and this should be enough. Let's just quickly go ahead, delete all this, hit generate. We are generated, okay, I forgot, I've reload everything, delete, save, close, reload, go ahead, generate. And we did not add the script, so it won't add the script, it will just add null, so it doesn't matter. Load gen script, it should now work. Generate, everyone has the script. I want there to be collision on all of these except these two. Now the tile size is actually already set, so I'm just gonna use that. Oh, there's a big mistake that I made. Extents actually does not take tile size, it actually takes half of the tile size, so well, I'm just gonna delete all these and go back, go to gen script and tile size divided by 2.0, and go ahead, add a script, gen script, and just hit generate. And now if you go back, you can just select all of these, deselect these two, and just say generate collision. So it's as simple as that, and we have created a complete set of scripts that allow us to create complete set of tile maps. So this is how easy it is to create scripts to generate tile sets for your, well, projects, and you can use it in various ways, improve on this, add more and more of content to all of that. And I hope you all liked the video, and if you did, you can just like, and if you have any kind of questions or doubts, or if you face any kind of problem, put it down in the comment section. I will be glad to help you guys out. and I hope you guys will subscribe too. Bye now, and see you guys later.